Hello, my dear friend. Sit comfortably, wrap yourself in a warm blanket, and allow this day to slowly drift into rest. Do you hear the gentle crackling of the fire in the fireplace? It loves listening to stories just as much as you do. I am an old grandfather who has gathered many tales, legends, and memories in his heart. Tonight, I will share one of them with you. A quiet, unhurried story made especially for this evening. Let your breathing become slow and steady, your thoughts soft and light, and your eyes heavy with pleasant tiredness. Here, by the fireplace, there is no rush and no worry. There's only warm light, a calm voice, and a story meant to help you fall asleep. So listen, and allow this tale to gently guide you into the world of dreams. The quiet howl of the old forest. The road was old. So old that even the forest seemed to remember it differently than it truly was. Stones once laid by careful hands had sunk into the earth, softened by rain, frost, and countless seasons passing one into another. Moss covered their edges like a green, patient blanket. Roots reached across the path, not to block it, but to gently reclaim it. A lone traveler walked there in the late evening. His steps were unhurried, not because he was tired, though he was, but because the road itself asked for slowness. The forest leaned inward, tall and calm, its branches forming a high arch above him. Leaves whispered softly as a cool breeze passed through them, and the sound felt like breathing. The traveler's name was Edric. He had walked many roads in his life, roads of stone and dust, roads filled with noise, roads crowded with voices and worry. But this road was different. Here, the world seemed quieter. Time itself felt slower, as though the forest had decided that haste was unnecessary. As the light faded from the sky, a pale mist began to rise. It drifted gently along the ground, wrapping around tree trunks and stones, curling and unfolding like slow-moving waves. Moonlight filtered down through the branches, silver and soft, touching everything without urgency. Edric breathed deeply. The air smelled of damp earth, pine, and distant smoke. And then, through the thinning trees, he saw warm light. The village rested in a shallow valley, nestled gently between the forested hills. It was small, only a handful of wooden cottages gathered around a narrow street and a modest stone church. The buildings leaned slightly with age, but they stood together, close and protective, as though comforted by one another's presence. Thin trellis of smoke rose from chimneys and dissolved into the evening sky. A bell rang once, not loud, not sharp, just a single, slow tone that drifted outward and faded naturally into the night. Edric paused to listen until the sound was gone. He felt no fear, only the quiet relief of arrival. As he entered the village, the soft glow of torches lit the way. The villagers moved calmly, their faces gentle but reserved. They nodded to him politely. No one rushed, no one spoke loudly. He was offered warm soup, thick bread, and a place near the fire. The hearth crackled softly, sending golden light across the low wooden beams and stone floor. Shadows moved slowly along the walls, stretching and settling like living things finally at rest. Edric ate in silence, grateful. Later, as the evening deepened, the villagers spoke quietly among themselves. Their words floated through the room like drifting embers. They spoke of the forest. They spoke of the ruins. And eventually, they spoke of Geryon. They did not raise their voices when they said his name. They did not spit, nor curse, nor cross themselves in fear. Instead, their hands stilled, their eyes softened. Geryon, they said, had once walked these same paths as Edric now did. He had cut wood for their fires, repaired roofs after storms, and guided travelers safely through the forest. He had loved this place deeply, and the place had loved him in return. But there had been a winter long and cruel. Hunger had come quietly at first, then all at once, and Geryon, afraid of losing those he loved, had sought help where help should not be asked for. The ruins beyond the forest were older than memory, older than prayer. They belonged to a time when people spoke to the land itself and believed the land answered back. Geryon had gone there with hope. He had returned change. That night, Edric slept beneath a thick wool blanket, listening to the gentle sounds of the village settling into rest. The fire faded into embers. The wind brushed softly against the walls. Somewhere, a beam creaked, then stilled again. When the bell rang a second time, it was softer still, almost comforting. Edric awoke slowly, not startled. The moon shone through the small window, round and calm, filling the room with pale light. He sat up and listened. From far away, very far away, came a sound. A long, low howl. It was not sharp, not frightening. It rose and fell like a breath released into the night. Edric dressed quietly and stepped outside. The village slept. Mist lay thick in the street, glowing faintly beneath the moon. The cottages stood silent and peaceful, their windows dark. No doors opened, no voices called out. The forest waited. Edric walked toward it, his steps slow, guided not by urgency but by a gentle pull, like a memory calling him home. The path beneath the trees felt soft. Leaves crunched faintly, then were quiet again. Branches swayed overhead, casting slow-moving shadows across the ground. At the ruins, the air felt ancient but calm. Stone pillars lay scattered, their sharp edges long, worn smooth. Ivy wrapped lovingly around fallen walls. Moonlight revealed faint carving circles, lines, symbols of balance and protection etched by hands long gone. And there, at the center, stood Geryon. He was large-furred, powerful but still. His chest rose and fell in steady rhythm. His eyes reflected the moonlight, golden and thoughtful. There was no anger in them, only weariness. "I am glad you came," Geryon said quietly. Edric listened. Geryon spoke of the old ritual, of how it bound him not to destruction, but to guardianship. Each full moon, he walked the forest, carrying its ancient memory, protecting it in ways he did not fully understand. "I am not meant to be freed," he said, "only understood." Edric did not argue. He sat beside him among the stones. They listened to the wind together. Time passed gently. Clouds drifted across the moon. The forest breathed, and slowly, very slowly, the shape of the beast softened, settled, and became human once more. When dawn came, the ruins were empty. The villagers never saw Geryon again, but the forest remained peaceful. And on certain nights, when the moon is full and the world feels quiet and safe, a distant howl still drifts through the trees. Not in sorrow, not in warning, but like a song the forest sings to itself. A reminder that some things are not meant to end, only to rest. And now, my dear friend, as this story gently comes to an end, allow the last words to fade like embers in the fireplace. There is nothing more you need to do tonight. Nothing more you need to think about. Let the quiet settle around you. Let the warmth stay with you. And let your dreams arrive slowly, softly, in their own time. I will sit here a little longer, listening to the fire, keeping watch as you rest. You are safe. You are calm. And tomorrow can wait. Sleep peacefully. Sleep deeply. And may your dreams be gentle and kind.